Welcome back to Sharp Edge News TV. My name is Ola, coming to you live from my Empire Pro Studios on the road. Do me a favor, hit like, share, subscribe, and follow. Turn up your notifications so you're notified every time we drop videos on Sharp Edge News TV and we go live. Please follow everywhere. We are present on YouTube, of course, Facebook. We're present on TikTok. We're also present at SharpEdgeNews.com, where the High Chief is dropping his exclusive from time to time. All right, so now without any further ado, again, hit like, share, subscribe, and follow. Ladies and gentlemen, get ready to welcome a man of two powerful roles, publisher of SharpEdgeNews.com and High Chief Odokbetu of Ayede Ogbese, Ondo State. Whether in the newsroom or in the kingdom, is always ahead. Give it up for the legend, High Chief Oladimeji Abitogun. Welcome, sir.
Thank you very much, Ola. Good to be back with you again. And a special gratitude and deep appreciation to our viewing audience, wherever they may be. We thank everyone for allowing us this rare privilege of occupying their space, whether through their devices, their mounted sets, their living room, wherever. We do not take it for granted that you choose on purpose to be part of what we do every week, getting your deserved shot of this tonic, not by the way a drive-by media would give it, but only something that is mainstream and mainstreaming like us would be able to do. Thank you indeed.
All right, thank you. Welcome. All right, without any further ado, I think we should just go ahead and slide right into today's special. I'm sure you have some other things for us from SharpEdgeNews.com. Yes, let's go for our weekly.
Yeah.
We have trendy stories around the world. Stick around, hit the like button. Please hit the like button and follow everywhere. Okay, but let's capture the SharpEdgeNews.com special report.
Very much so. Like we said in times past, these are interesting times, and never has the world felt the kind of trepidation that is going on by way of seismic shakeup, almost in the magnitude of expected earthquake. I mean, something you've been forewarned about, and yet, on purpose, you embraced the the extreme situation that has brought something upon the world in which we live. What are we talking about? Virtually every educated person, every informed opinion leader, all brilliant analysts gave an indication that the coming of the present occupier of the White House in the United States would probably serve something that we may not like on our palate. And now we are dealing with that. But before we talk more about the global situation, dire straits in which we have all found ourselves at this point, number one thing that comes to my mind this time is how ephemeral, the transient nature of the life in which we live. You talking of somebody you were talking with in the earlier hours of a day, and then by midday you may not have the opportunity of continued engagement or communication with that person because he or she may no longer be there, no longer occupying space, no longer material, and just gone with the wind, passage of time. Who am I talking of here? What am I talking of here? The passing of Dr. Doni Okupe. Somebody who hails from the illustrious Agbomagbe family. I mean, if you are somebody who understands the nature of the western region of old, the importance of and the heritage of the Okupe family, the Agbomagbe banking heritage, you will understand. But Dr. Doni Okupe was a trained physician. At some point, our paths crossed. And let me say that there were times we had our brutally frank discussions, particularly the last time he moved from Labour Party in Nigeria to join. I do not know if he actually joined, but to express sympathies for the ruling All Progressives Congress in Nigeria. At a point, it was in PDP. But let me say that way back in my university days, particularly around 1992, 1993, I had the opportunity of interacting with Dr. Doni Okupe. He was then handling strategy for the Bashir Tofa campaign organization on the NRC presidential ticket then. And we had this unique encounter at the defunct Owena Motels, the legacy of a late Chief Adekunle Ajashi, who was the second Republic Governor of Ondo State. At Owena Motels in Akure, I had come as a campus journalist, and I sought recognition to be allowed to ask Bashir Tofa few germane questions. And the battery of then professional journalists under the aegis of the Nigerian Union of Journalists in Ondo State tried to shut me out. They tried to shut me down. That it was strictly for professionals, and that campus journalists would not qualify for such privilege. And I had argued my way through, letting them know that it would be a thing of excitement to have journalists from campuses in the United States sitting side by side, accomplished professionals, rubbing shoulders with them during electioneering campaigns, and that occasion would not be different. They were going to shut me out, but Dr. Okupe interceded for me. And he paraphrased the Bible saying that Jesus Christ said, do not forbid little children from coming unto him, because the kingdom of God is like theirs. And then that won the day. Because he stood up for me, I was able to ask Bashir Tofa of blessed memory my question. But of course, over time, when the 1993 election was annulled, something Babangida has been trying desperately to rewrite, the fact of which has been desperate to rewrite. Okupe was in the vanguard of pro-democracy people at some point. And fast forward to about 2013, two of my former colleagues on the board of then PointBlankNews.com, in the person of Mr. Jackson Ude and Churchill Umoren, went to serve in the same office with the late Dr. Doni Okupe. And I think they gave their very best in the service of the nation. There were scandals, not against my colleagues, but something that had closed in on Dr. Doni Okupe. So at this moment, all we can do is to join millions of Nigerians and well-meaning persons all over the world to express our condolences with the Okupe family. And we pray that his soul will find a sweet repose. That said, let us turn our attention at this point to the events unfolding in a place like River State. We have seen the ruling from the Supreme Court in Nigeria trying to give all victories, award trophy to Mr. Yesi Wike, the current minister of the Federal Capital Territory in Nigeria. He, of course, was the governor of that state. He served 2 terms. But what is known as a godfatherism in mafia terms and the politics of Nigeria at the moment is not allowing for him to let off the control of PDP power structure in that state. And so he is footing one leg in PDP, the other foot is right with APC. And that kind of politics is very, very strange. You will think that whoever is going to belong in a political party will be committed to the core philosophies, the ideologies, and vision of that group, not exactly Jason Wike. And now it looks like the victory awarded in court, although everybody say, oh, Wike was never part of the, I mean, was not an interested party, was not the plaintiff in the matter. But from all indications, he is the one that is getting all the spoils of the judicial victory given to the embattled lawmakers of Rivers State. And even when the governor is trying to extend the olive branch to the lawmakers who at some point announced with glee to the entire world that they are decamped to the opposition party of APC in the state, which is the ruling party at the center in Nigeria. Now they are saying no way. And it's almost like a pretext for them to have a forum, sit there, and probably accomplish what is generally expected at this point, that they probably want to impeach the governor of the state, similarly Fubara. And through different media appearances and all kinds of engagements, you find out that the pro-Wike lawmakers in Rivers State, never loyal to the state, to the constitution that they swore to, they are committed. I mean, the question will be asked, if there is a kind of blood oath between these troubled lawmakers and yes, Wike, why they are not willing to be loyal to the elected governor of the state. So at this point, everything seems to be on edge, and it is expected that these lawmakers, if given the opportunity, instead of attending to what the Supreme Court said they should do, vet the budget of the state so that the lien on the finances of the state could be lifted. Because now it's almost like that state is facing a kind of financial strangulation. The Supreme Court has said the Fiscal Allocation Commission, the Revenue Mobilization and Fiscal Allocation Commission in Nigeria, should not give any money to that state. It's almost like trying to take the breath out of similar Fubara. And everybody thinks that the governor is trying his best, but you see that the lawmakers are being instigated to continue with their the drum beat for war in that state. And we don't think that is going to do any good for anybody. Whether they succeed at it or not, I think history is being made in Rivers State. And if this is coming at the behest of the ruling party in Nigeria, the APC, it will be so unfortunate. But APC should also have a sense of history. When the ruling NPC at the center during Nigeria's First Republic, 1960 to 1966, tried a similar game. The Republic failed. It led to an avoidable war. Blood was shed.
I want to do something a little bit different today, sir. With regards to this topic that you're talking about, I want to play a video. I want you to tell me if that's what's happening right now or you beg to differ. So I'm going to play. It's about this guys, this godfather and the son. And then it's an advice from Fayoshe. I'm going to play the video and I want you to tell me if that's what's coming to pass right now. Okay, so listen in.
You are Governor River State. My brother, the day your eyes begin to see, you will miss road. Close your eyes completely. Maybe if I have a godfather, I won't have problem. Maybe if I have a godfather like our father here and Wike, I will not have problem. I didn't have.
I'm not gonna give you more than that in context. What do you think? Is that
Yeah.
what's going on?
What former governor Ayodele Peter Fayose of Ekiti State was advocating there is the wrong situation you have in Russia, an oligarchy. That is it dressed up the costume for that phenomenon equals godfatherism is known as, and there is no place for oligarchy. Wike served his term, is gone. So he wanted, the advice there would be that Ayodele Fayose wanted Fubra to operate in office like a blind man. Who needs a blind
loyalty?
leader? Blind loyalty.
Isn't he asking for loyalty?
That is why I said it's almost a recipe for a total chaos. It happened Nigeria First Republic, Second Republic, even to a large extent from the confessions of a cowardly general like Ibrahim Babangida, who said, "Oh, the election of 1993 was annulled because of certain influences."
Could he avoid the chaos by simply closing his eyes as he's advising?
Nobody does that. In power, yes. Well, it's either you are in leadership and you lead from the front as a real leader. You want to begin to lead from the rear. You are like a comedian you are like a general becoming a comedian, a comic character. Nobody needs that. What's it called? Politicians have a way of delivering their objectives and goals and their philosophies in beautiful prose. They like to make flowery statements, but when you scratch through the surface, what you find is something so hollow, so shallow. So, with due respect, I do not think that kind of advice from Peter Fayose is needed at any point. The truth of the matter is that Fubra should have been given the opportunity to lead. If the government of that state fails, it cannot be said that that will be an end victory. It will just be a precipice for unraveling of the whole Nigeria's agenda on democracy, and we need to be careful. Our report this week.
All right, thank you so much for that. Do me a favor, hit the like button, share, subscribe, turn up your notifications so you're notified when we go live. We have some other trendy stories around the world, and we will be right back. All right, welcome back. Of course, we're talking about this news. El-Rufai today broke out. El-Rufai too soon. APC Chieftain questions El-Rufai's defection. I thought it was the APC Chieftain, but this is Nigeria. Anyway, I'm looking at the Punch News report. It says a former national vice chairman, Northwest of the All Progressives Congress, Saliu Lukman, on Monday bemoaned the defection of former Kaduna State Governor Nasser El-Rufai to the Social Democratic Party. Americans are like, wait, what is defection? Welcome to the world of Nigerians. Anyway, Lukman said the defection was too premature. In other words, it's okay sometimes later, and wasn't the kind of collective move they earlier projected. The former Director General of the Progressive Governors Forum disclosed this in an interview with some selected journalists in Abuja. He said, "Yes, I am close to Malam El-Rufai to the extent that we come from the same state and we're in the same party. And I had the privilege of being nominated by him to serve on the National Working Committee of APC. Of course, as everybody knows, we have our own disagreements." Anyway, what's your take on the epidemics of defection of parties in Nigeria? And then you can speak to this, of
Um,
course.
yes, there is nothing new about this. While I was recuperating after the tragic injuries I had 2002, and as I was leaving a federal medical center, I had the rare privilege of being paid what I consider a unique visit by our uncle, whom you know very well, the leader of the Yoruba Social Cultural Organization, Afenifere, Baba Ruben Family de Fashionati, Chief RF Fashionati. He visited with me at our place in Obaile, Akure. And it described that phenomenon. That is why I'm mentioning this visit, this unique visit from him. It described that kind of phenomenon as political prostitution. Did you hear that?
Yes,
political
Oshelu.
Yes. Political prostitution. Not my original words. And you know the words of our elders. So if way back in 2002, Chief RF Fashionati would describe such phenomenon to me as political prostitution, I would borrow the same phrase from him today to describe this trend, worrisome as it looks. It means, because people think, oh, it is the ultimate goal that matters. How you get there does not matter. No, not so fast. People who try to play Machiavellian card all the times in politics, they should also understand the laws of power, the 48 laws of power. We can't go into the details of such tonight because we must keep to time. And
yes,
I mean, there is something alluring and so gracious about brevity. But what I'm saying is that this trend, whether you call it cross-carpeting in parliamentary system of government or cabinet system of government, such that you have in Britain, cross-carpeting, or you call it switching of sides or switching of political parties, which is what you find with somebody like Kennedy Jr. the other day, who is now serving in the cabinet of Donald Trump in America. It's not common in Britain. It's not common in the United States. But you find out that instead of it being an exception in the politics of Nigeria, it's almost like the daily rule. If a politician in Nigeria is telling you he's committed to an ideology, you need to check his face twice to know that, yes, you may not find the construct of whatever he's saying on his face, but it's coming from a heart that is unreliable. To El-Rufai, Nasser El-Rufai's matter, a few months back, he was in denial. Even 2 weeks ago, he was in denial about the possibility of him crossing to another political party. And so many kites have been flown about the possibility of whether he will go to SDP. Remember when he went to visit the, certain characters in on the Social Democratic Party SDP thing. He said it was a visit to his friends. Honestly, I mean, now at over 54 years of age, I have come a long way. And when politicians talk, some of them, like I said way back, I think 1999, in a news report in Nigeria, accusing a particular minister of suffering a kind of mouth and foot disease. These people, they are worse than a cow that is carrying that kind of disease around. At the same time, they are telling you one thing, but they know they are going to do exactly something different. But El-Rufai is an interesting character. Personally, I do not like his politics. He has so many things to explain to Nigerians. For example, the other day, he came and was heaping all the blames for the neglect he has suffered in APC, which we must give him credit. He assisted them to mainstream. But if you understand...
So he's leaving APC because his butt hurt?
Because if, you know, some of these people who have always been... neglected. Not just that, Ola. El-Rufai says he came, you know, he described himself in his memoir as the accidental public servant. That is the name of the book he wrote.
Okay.
Now, since he chanced upon Nigeria as a public life, you understand, he's developed this sense of entitlement. He wants to be part of any government in power. Is a kind of adjective in Nigeria. Any government in power suits him. He was there as director, as the DG of a Bureau of Public Enterprise. He was brought into relevance, into public limelight by the former Vice President of Nigeria, Atiku Abubakar. But it did not matter to him when it was time to switch and snitch against Atiku Abubakar. He went from there. I belong to all kinds of groups and associations and what have you. Always helping to implode any platform that originally presents him. And this is the guy. Why? Okay, he has said it was not the National Assembly that screened him out of it. He said it was not the National Assembly that voted him down from becoming a cabinet member of the current Tinubu's administration. He is lying. He is lying. And Nigerians do this injustice to the collective consciousness and memory of all of us. This only happened a few months ago. He was caught, and that was what counted heavily against him. This, the agenda of a Muslim ticket. And then when he met with certain ulamas and Islamic clerics and started not minding the implication of the sensitivity of that subject matter. How he said, oh, that was what they used to manipulate and force everything on Nigeria. This is a guy, an irredentist element, who thinks he controls the entire North. He does not control even his backyard. You look at the analysis of the last election there. No, even the politics of Kaduna State, this last cycle of election, PDP got 2 of the 3 senatorial seats there. PDP got 11 House of Representatives seats. Even in the House of Assembly, it was almost going to be a clean sweep against him. That is, you see, if elections go the way it went in Kaduna State, if it goes that way all over Nigeria, it will be so great. El-Rufai was running the show as if it was the alpha and omega of that state, bringing all kinds of, and I'm challenging him, importing all kinds of mercenaries from all over, Fulani jihadists, terrorists, violent characters to take over Kaduna State, and they were on the, they unleashed untold and unprecedented mass killings against people of southern Kaduna. Never a uniter. And now he is disgruntled when all those things counted against him. Don't let us talk too much. Only in Nigeria would, people say he's a short man. That is why he's so, tall in the kind of temperament he wears. I'm also a short man, but I do not have that kind of.
He has the Napoleon syndrome.
Something like that, but they call him short man devil. But
it's not a big deal.
Your
we
height,
can all see this guy.
Yeah, yes, of course, you know I'm a short man, but your height should not determine how devilish you can be or how godly you can be. Just be a
You're
normal
shaming
human being.
another short man. Chief. Yeah, so you're shaming another short man with his
Yes, it
shortness.
does not matter. We need to act. We need to act. You know, in the consciousness of what constitutes the good of the majority. I do not think El-Rufai has that. And then look at his past. Look at his past. I had the privilege of calling him on the phone when he was at Harvard doing whatever he said he came here to do. You know, they have this way of using Oxford, Cambridge, Harvard to bamboozle Nigeria's public. As if those of us who attended the Ado-Ekiti, as if those of us who attended Ado-Ekiti, Ile-Ife, Lagos, whatever university, as if we do not matter. Screw all that. Yes, if you say you attend all these Ivy League schools and what have you, and you do not even have humane disposition towards your fellow human beings, honestly, the certificate that you get from all those institutions may not really be what they are sought. You should be proud of earning that university degree or your academic accomplishment with matching content of character. So when I called him then and I asked him how he had treated people like Justice Sambo, his uncle, who was the chairman of Code of Conduct Tribunal, how he treated people like Professor P.A. Oluyede, who later became an Oba in Ondo State, seizing their properties and moving against them and trying to make it look like, oh, it's not worth it to serve. What's it called? To serve as a public servant or civil servant in Nigeria. This guy had no good thing to say. So, good luck to him for finding
SDP.
a special. Is it about SDP? He has just found another special purpose vehicle, and when he's done. Yeah, when he is done displaying his true character around them, he will dump them again. You know, he is like what you call it, a rolling stone that will not gather moss until he is able to acknowledge God in his life, know that there must be respect for the vast majority of Nigerians, and that we need to be united in the interest of that country, not for parochial religious agenda. I do not think he will enter into his rest. I do not think so. He is he is a restless soul at this moment. Yes.
Yeah. The idea of defection in Nigeria is synonymous to unrest. So
yes. And it shows lack of principle, lack of purpose, lack of vision, ideological debasement. Yes. It questions, it's a big question to his character. After so much denials that are not even plausible. Now, now the day has shown its worth. So now we know where he belongs. It is pointless to continue to lie. And then, did you hear the way he was bragging like the average Nigerian elite the other day? He said, oh, he lives in Egypt now. He only comes to Nigeria once in a while. After helping himself with Nigerian resources. And then Egypt becomes his playground. Good luck to him. Good riddance to bad rubbish.
I'm glad you gave, you see, I didn't say anything when you were talking. I'm glad you gave Dr. Donyo Kupe a very good tribute. And I think you forgot that you actually introduced us once upon a time. I met him.
Yes, I did.
Yes. But, you know, in the last, go ahead.
Yeah, I said at Perry Hotel in New York. I remember.
Yes. So, you know, in the last few days, you've seen people like Reno Mokri, Area Boy, Charlie Boy, Okbuta. They've tried to drag him even in his passing, which is, I think, is still disrespectful. But Reno Mokri is generally a disrespectful person. So I'm not really surprised.
But he calls himself a pastor. By the way, I love his outfit, his complete African outfit. The other day when he was making his contribution on Natasha. I mean, good appearance, but the content of that video was so distasteful. That is really not democracy for me.
We're gonna talk about that in a second. I disagree with you. He messed our outfit up with that video. He should not be wearing it. It doesn't belong to him. He shouldn't be wearing it. We move with steez, with swag when we wear. Look at the way you are, sir. Please don't compare. Thank you. All right. Well, we'll talk about that. But the point I'm extracting from that
No,
is that
but that outfit looked good on him. That outfit actually looked good on him, and he looked so handsome there.
I disagree.
And I'm not 100%. Trying to harass him sexually, please.
I'll tell you why I disagree when we get to that segment. But the reason why I'm bringing that up is because of one of the reasons. I think the main reason why they were trying to drag him, another radio guy, is they were trying to drag Dr. Donyo Okupe was because of the defections back and forth that tends to. I think that's one of the major reasons, because they were saying he sold out or something like that, you know.
Yeah, but remember when he switched sides, I also criticized him, but that was when he was alive. In that, exactly. we should celebrate people instead of.
But in addition to what you just said, sir, it is Nigerian political system until it's a systemic issue. It's not a personal issue at anybody. It's a systemic issue. It's the truth is that it's a very tricky thing. The young lady we're going to talk about in the next segment here, after talking about Trump, she's also switched. She had to switch from SDP to PDP before it's just part of that system. There's simply no loyalty in that system. If you want to win in that system, it's one of the things that you might sadly, against your own will, have to consider at some point as part of your political career.
But in this case, in this case, you can say that about Nasir El-Rufai. El-Rufai carries this personality that makes him to like. I'm not a psychologist, but honestly, on the face of it, he looks to me like a narcissist. No other person is good.
All politicians are narcissists.
You say what?
All politicians are narcissists. What do you mean?
But there is an unusual twist to his own narcissism. The other thing is that he suffers this illusion. Yeah, he also suffers this illusion of grandeur. That he seems himself as bigger than his body frame and what his mind holds. Honestly, it's a kind of megalomania. That is the way I look at El-Rufai.
You just described the short man syndrome in 50,000 different ways, but it's okay.
Yes.
It's okay. Let's leave him alone. It's okay.
Yeah, but by the way, I'm not hateful towards him, but he just needs a good heart. Simple. His heart is too sinister. His agenda too dark. Where he wants to take Nigeria, calling people from all over Futajalon Island. Anyway, don't let's talk too much about him. Now he has consigned himself into the corner where he belongs, and of course he knows he is playing with Babanla Babakumo, the master of the game, and so we see how well it goes.
Yeah, I think it's a systemic issue, but the system is a function of the people, so we're agreeing. You know, so let's leave it alone. But let us know what your thoughts are about this. Is it too soon? Or should it never happen? Because that's what we're saying here. This El-Rufai thing, or it's just another day in Nigerian politics. Let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. Hit the like button, share, subscribe, turn up your notifications so you're notified when we go live. We'll be right back with the next trendy stories. Come back. Can you hear me, sir?
Yes, clearly.
All right. Thank you. Welcome back. We have this news that I want us to talk about with respect to our dear President Trump, of course. I think the chief is finally coming to settle into the reality that President Trump is our president. I don't think he ever denied that, but the reality is that President Trump is showing up exactly the way we expected him to show up. Like every day in America is a reality TV show. Since yesterday, it's news upon news upon news. And the news we're looking at, I'm actually putting up from CNBC. Trump, an agent of chaos and confusion. Economists won, but the US recession isn't in the cards. But this was at 9:19 a.m. this morning. I think the tone of the news has actually since changed because the market actually lost about 500 points. I mean, S&P 500 lost about 500 points today. Thanks to Donald Trump. And there's this news here. This is a line says White House stock market plunge is not as meaningful as business activity. I mean, that sounds like an excuse. But it says the White House on Monday downplayed the weeks-long stock market sell-off, insisting that recent moves by business leaders suggest a brighter outlook for the U.S. economy. The other thing we also know is that there's been a lot of basketballs between the MAGAs and Elon Musk. Okay, where there is my wife used to say this thing. I still struggle to say it. Where there is there is no smoke without fire. There you go. Aha.
Yeah.
There's no.
You finally
I struggle to say it.
Got it out.
I get it out, right? There's no smoke without fire. If they're saying there's rumors, there's basketballs between Elon Musk and the MAGAs, you better believe it. Also, Elon Musk has in the last few hours accused people in the area of Ukraine of attacking. There's a massive attack on Twitter today. There was a downtime outage at Twitter. So he's also accusing them of that. But Elon Musk is not a very likable person. I think he's always been that guy. But there's a lot going on. But now people are asking questions. Is there going to be a recession? Can this create a recession?
Well, yes. Thank God. If they talk of recession, that might be mild. At least that is still better than a major depression, such like the world witnessed in the 1930s. And remember then, the difference between the depression of 1930s and it was described as all kinds of war in Africa, in Akura area where I grew up, not
Really?
in the 1930s, please. But I grew up still hearing from my late old dad, who, by the way, your grandfather, he was 92 when he passed on in 2002. But he grew up, I mean, he was a relatively young person in the 1930s. I remember he had his church baptism in 1932. Now, what did you remember about that period? Ogunyo. Even salt. Ogunyo, that's it. Even salt was such a rare commodity.
Wow.
In the 1930s because of the Great Depression. And how did it happen? Republicans in America were also fixated on a utopia that they didn't know anything about. But unlike now that a president has the audacity, is so audacious to lead these economic inconsistencies and zero-sum economic agenda. The president in the United States then did not lead the charge, but he was, I mean, a sheer leader for the Republican crowd. But now the president and the Republican Party are the ones championing this. But thank God, it looks like you said, there's going to be a crack to the extent that Steve Bannon, the guy who actually could be credited for stoking the MAGA agenda of a thing, is beginning to look at Elon Musk as somebody who came out of the blues to just throw America into some dark situation. He's even gone to the extent of referring to him as somebody who was an illegal alien, you know, in deliberate reference to the fact that Elon Musk, as a student, probably overstayed his visa here before he started his first company. So the crack is real. And they think what they wanted, the populist team, I mean, appealing to right-wing sentiments, the alpha male white thing, initially that Steve Bannon was championing. Probably he didn't realize that somebody would just come from nowhere, pump like over $200 million into the campaigns of Donald Trump and then take over. And you find all kinds of people describing that America now is not just aiming for an oligarchy, but that now America is in an oligarchy, which is why you find that this trade war in itself was not necessary. There was no need for it. But somebody who just felt, okay, if he opens the mouth, something must come out, whether it is well thought through or not, has brought us all into this. And so you find a situation in which he wants to put his foot on the pedal and then too much speed, and he finds that the thing is going the wrong direction. Instead of pulling up to it, it doubles down, which is why Canada, that has been a faithful ally of the United States, has manned up to say that they are just going to go the full hog wherever America takes it. And you see the reference to the hockey, I mean, their expertise in terms of a hockey game, that the way Canada always beat the United States in hockey games, this economic war too would be, I mean, they are thinking they will win it. Now, down south, you see the reaction of Mexico, all the way from China, everything spiraling out of control. So the point I'm saying, since the time of Jimmy Carter, when the world stagflation popped up a little bit, what America may be going for under this man, yes, worse than a recession, but it will be stagnation of growth while inflation soars, which is, I mean, the word that is the origin of the word stagflation there. So we may not get total depression, but you can't rule out anything. And I'm just a journalist. I'm not going to
I mean, money is being lost.
And I don't
the bottom line is that money is being lost, sir. So
definitely. And what is it? I mean, why should you and I be concerned? How about our contributions into retirement funds, wherever that is tonight? Everybody going to bed in America tonight, they are not even, there is so much worry about economics, the economics of eggs turning so expensive. Yeah, but they're also concerned that that money in, is it called 401k?
401k. 401k. Retirement savings, 401k.
Yeah, retirement savings that, as the stocks are really taking a dive for the worse, that also may be affected. And look, market, yes. Yeah, look at the possibility of that affecting Medicaid, Medicare, Social Security, all kinds of things. So the chaos is real. We only pray that it will not be total, so that we all are not eclipsed.
Yeah,
we all saw this coming. The analysis showed that this will not lead anywhere, and this is what you get when you are really fixated on the demagoguery of an individual that really is always thinking about his own circle, his world, and not you and I. But we were forewarned. And to be forewarned is to be forearmed. So let us deal with what we have and sort it up.
Yeah, what I've noticed, what I continue to notice about Trump supporters and Trump voters and people that continue to root for him, is that they appreciated the non or not so diplomatic approach. And it's sad because I cover the same thing on this platform and other platforms, that there's a reason why why the wisest of human race are diplomatic. You're not wiser than them. There's a reason. You have
That's
to
right.
pay attention to that. So if you see a straight shooter and somehow you think they are going to help you, save you from who you might have considered to be oppressors because you think they lie, because they're politicians and lie, and then you go for somebody who will just do anyhow because they're a straight shooter, I say just be careful. I say they're there. Because that's what we're dealing with
Yeah,
right now.
Miral. Yeah.
So, but
Take it
the
easy.
reality with this stock market thing is that there is no one day or one event move. Remember, we were even talking about this with respect to content creation that determines the fate of anything, but they must be considered because that's what lines up to become the patterns eventually. So
That's right.
money is being lost today at the end of the day, no matter how we want to shape our mouths to justify
And
the
it's
plunge
been like
today.
that for more than 1 week now.
For a week, yes. So it's
That's
something
right.
to pay attention to. The market is trying to tell us something, and it's not that this is just short term. There's only so much of, oh, it's just temporary you can do before it becomes permanent. But let
And
us know your thoughts. Yes, yes, sir.
and you check the figures. Never in the history of this country has anybody been any president for that matter been under waters in terms of rating. The rating now is almost going sub-zero.
Yeah,
You know. So
yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
All right. We'll continue to cover the news. We're just
Yeah,
trying to get your
and
opinion.
African leaders who often think that the barometer is set or whatever has to be the guiding light has to come from here. They also need to be very creative. They have to be proactive, not responsive, but proactive, making sure that if anything seems to be tottering and tilting here, it doesn't upturn the situation uh, on the African continent.
Yeah. All right. Do us a favor, hit the like button, share, subscribe, turn up your notifications so you're notified when we go live. We have other trendy stories around the world. We'll be right back. All right, lift it now. Lift it now. Falana challenges Senate over Natasha Akpoti's suspension. The last time we covered this story was when she first accused him of harassment. At that time, I think she wasn't yet suspended. And we pretty much, I don't know if we predicted it or not, but it was pretty much obvious the way they were starting to overreact that he is probably guilty. And the way they've overreacted since then has pretty much aligned accordingly. I just want to bring you up to speed some of the updates since then. Of course, she was suspended for 6 months. They are removing her salary. They are removing all her aides, and they are taking her office for 6 months. That's what they said so far. And before that point, the court had made an order that they should stop any type of suspension proceedings, which they outrightly disregarded, right? So now this morning, one of the leaders of the committee of code and conduct, blah blah blah, a guy called Uswine, something like that. It's Imaswen, Neda Imaswen, Senator Neda Imaswen. Yeah, he is actually a disbarred New York lawyer. And he was disbarred for stealing millions. And this was confirmed from New York. So go figure. And he actually wrote the LOP Labour Party. They wrote their vehicle to get into that office back in 2023. And as you can see, when they were voting to suspend her, I don't know how to say
Meaning
that in
what?
English. Excuse me. but they were all facing the same direction, basically.
Yeah, they were all unanimous. Yeah,
unanimous.
Direction.
Unanimous, which tells us that it's not real. Atenu Jenny, how do you say that in English? It was not real. They were after what they were after.
I thought there would be like if you do transliteration or translation, Atenuja will be what?
Atenuja will be how do I help myself with this?
Yeah, the poison you ingest through the mouth.
Yes.
Atenuja, yes.
Yes,
so
Atenuja poison.
Yeah, but don't say because we will be accused of being insensitive. But look, Pasule Consha.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, so but we will say where the Sule came from.
Now, with that being said, there's also another gentleman. I want to play his video right now. A gentleman, a professor, something. I'll call his name in a second. A Professor Ogunlewe. I think Adeseye Ogunlewe.
Senator, former senator and former minister of works.
Okay, good. So he also said some things today. He was basically telling us that we can wink, blink is okay, and blink even if it's at work. But anyway, if you see a pretty lady, even though anyway, we're going to talk
almost saying that Senator Natasha Akpoti beauty is the problem.
Yeah, I'm going to play the video.
How about that?
But I wanted to highlight this. I wanted to highlight Mrs. Obi or Ezekwesieli, right? She made a statement. Dr. Obi, she made a statement. At least she stands out as a support from the women, and I thought that was refreshing, because the honest truth is that Nigerian women, in generally speaking, including the rest of the Senate ladies, they were not supporting Natasha. Disappointedly, in my opinion.
Don't you think that's a big shame?
It's a shame. So it's a shame. And ladies, let me say this before I let the chief run the rest of it, right? We don't trust you if you don't support your own gender. Men, as men, we can't trust you if you can't naturally, before you start to analyze or overanalyze anything, we cannot trust you if you don't have a natural inclination to support your own gender before you start to analyze. I just want to put that out there because I feel like some women, I understand the yearn, the urge to want to analyze like a man. Before you know it, they'll just be all over the place. This issue is actually very, very simple. Like, for example, when people are at work, especially if you're in a position of authority, you have to be careful how you relate with a member of the opposite gender. It's part of your social intelligence. That's all we're saying here. You have to at least acknowledge that first before you come back and tell us that at least she's coconut head too. But let me play this video, then I'll let you take it away, sir. Okay. All right. This is Professor Ogunlewe.
Female senators did not look at themselves as if they were inferior to men. They were even up to, if you even mention that Itadiwa is a woman, the response you are going to get will make you ashamed of yourself, because they will stand up to you. So, but the beauty of distinguished Senator Natasha is a problem to her.
How can beauty be a problem?
You know, men.
Thank you, Dr. Abadi.
When somebody who is pretty,
he said, you know, men,
passes by you, your attitude will change. You can smile, you can wink,
wink
but
again.
you will not talk to her. But her beauty is a problem. There's no doubt about that.
How's it a problem?
That's the question.
Why should beauty be a problem?
To men, when she's passing, there's no way a man will not look at that woman.
No, their job is to go and make laws for the good governance of Nigeria, not to look at beautiful women.
No, it is a natural thing for a man to look at beautiful women. How can you be a man and a beautiful woman is passing and you close your eyes?
I think I have to see my optician. Oh. These my glasses will not be working very well.
It is inbuilt.
I see beautiful
Well,
women every day.
is that not misogynistic in itself?
Yeah, beyond that.
It may be, you might time it, but it is inbuilt.
Mama said it is inbuilt.
Well, you see,
The
yeah,
female
go ahead.
senators.
Hold on. Go ahead. It was over. Go ahead.
Well,
Go ahead,
Ola,
sir.
you see what you see in this time and age, what Nigerians are dealing with. I had a little experience a few years back. I had gone with a daughter to the Nigerian Immigration Service in Abuja. And really, they felt the way that daughter was dressed was too revealing. And I told them, all of you, I mean, in this country, including you immigration officials, you are so overzealous about this religion of a thing. How is it? If she's comfortable in whatever she was wearing, how is that your business? They didn't see me as a good father. But God knows I'm a very good father, but I'm not putting myself in issues that are not mine. I'm a man, for God's sake. Why would I be putting my mouth in women's thing anyhow? And this is what you find with Senator Ogunlewe this morning saying Natasha Akpoti, a distinguished senator, that her beauty is a problem.
Question, sir. Question for you, sir. Why is it that Baba kept saying, men now, and two other men are saying, how is it a problem? How is it that Baba, as learned as that man is, cannot catch himself?
I do not know. I do not know if he's a learned person. Probably he has education. He may not be a lawyer.
I don't think Reuben Abati cannot see that woman's beauty. But something in him is choosing not to make it the topic.
Yeah, because
Baba is not catching that.
They do not understand. That Baba, I can tell you for free. If he lives in the United States, he probably will be landing himself in trouble because what he was doing there was trying to objectify sex. Focused on, not looking at that woman as a fellow human being. All he is engrossed with is the striking beauty. Nobody is denying the fact that Senator Natasha Akpoti is beautiful, but how does that really take the place?
It's irrelevant.
This is it. And people do not know when not to allow handshake to extend, beyond what is normal. You don't allow it to go to the elbow. This is exactly the point.
Sorry
this
to
is all
interject you, sir.
Natasha Akpoti is asking for.
Sorry to interject you, sir. I know I'm interrupting your train of thought. Is he effectively indicting the Senate? Because it's admitting that anytime they see this woman in passing, there's a change in attitude. Isn't that what he's doing right there?
You see, that is coming straight from Yoruba's Yoruba's world, the Yoruba thought process, that when an Afinju, you understand, a clean person enters into the marketplace, heads will turn. But in the time and age in which we live, why must your head turn anyhow when you are not an how? You understand? You should be mindful, and you should be, not just because she's a senator.
I said he is a senator. He's supposed to be one of our leaders.
He was the senator 1999 to 2003, I think, and later he became Minister of Works in Nigeria. But that will show you, in fairness to him, he condemned he condemned the speed and what's it called, the horrid processes that led to the suspension of Senator Akpoti He did that, and he accused the Senate of bias. In fairness to him, but you know, when somebody talks too much at times, it could lead to unintended consequences.
I agree.
That's that about Baba Ogunlewe. But honestly, I just feel like the senators made a mistake. They thought, oh, this would go. Let them, hurriedly put her on trial without fair hearing and all that. And they made Akpabio to preside over the entire process. That in itself, and they want to be respected. They said, oh, they were disrespected and all that. Natasha did very little in showing them disrespect. They have also gone ahead to disrespect themselves. This shows the quality, the caliber of people that parade themselves as distinguished senators today. By the way, there have been all kinds of views and opinions and messages that, we may be on the watch list if we come to Nigeria and all that, because of our views here. Good luck to them. If instead of making good laws and living by that, how many times were we on that watch list in the past? Was it, concerning the passing of the former president Umaru Musa Yar'Adua and so many other things for which they put our names on their watch list? Who is at over 50? Who is scared of them? That nation belongs to all of us. Some of them may not even be older than us in age. And you know, age counts so much about so many things in our country, Nigeria. Our best country, Nigeria. So let nobody try to intimidate us with that. That said, we will still hammer on that point that there is this burden of proof on Senator Akpabio. He should understand that he is just first among equals. He is just first among all of us Nigerians, not that he's more Nigerian than any of us. And if we all are trying to give qualitative and useful and functional advice to each other, I think people should listen. To carry on as if, the rest of us do not matter. That in itself, is something else. That said, Akpabio should check his own antecedents. Like I said last week, he should check his own antecedents. I am a man, and it does not mean that I'm infallible. But every day, it takes the grace of God and providence for me not to also find myself in a situation in which I would want, part of the real God is to understand that I was born by a woman. My wife is a woman. I have girl children.
Girl child children, yes.
Yeah, it could be a girl child or girl children. I have girl children, biological, non-biological. And the point I'm making here is that if I would not want anybody to objectify these people in my life as people that you should hit on only sexually, and you do not respect them for their worth, you don't think they amount to so much, and that their life is of value and their contributions to the society must be appreciated. That is not the way I want to live my life. And it takes the grace of God to understand that so long I do not want anybody to do that to people in my life, I will not do it to another person. I will not do it to another. See, there are so many women all over the place. My issue with Akpabio is not his active libido. I have no issue with his libidinous propensity. Good luck to him about that. But common decency shows that leave other people's women alone, whether other people's wives or girlfriend. And probably you should understand that the origin of lawmaking itself, when you go and check all the laws handed down to Moses, or the Hammurabi laws, whichever the origin of laws itself, which is what they are there to make for every Nigerian, for good governance, you will remember that it is not good to continue to hide your neighbor's things, whether women, children, property, what have you, because I restrain myself from referring to women as anybody's property. They are our equals in all ramifications. And let nobody, let no man begin to have this sense of entitlement that they can always beat down on women. Because if anybody comes after us as men, beat down on us the way we want to treat our female counterparts, would we like it? For example, if women say, oh, they constitute a considerable number in that country today, probably more than 50% of Nigerians, and then they seize power and they begin to subjugate men, you won't like it one bit. So if you are opportune to call the shots now, and then all you want to do is to use it to stifle the voice of a worthy and distinguished fellow senator, I say no. I say no to that. Finally, on this subject, I want to really appeal to the so-called market women, the so-called people in the Senate. Everybody is saying, oh, why are they dragging Senator Ireti Kingibe? They are not dragging her because of anything. Just that, understand that Ireti Kingibe has had her own unfair share of being intimidated by men in power, particularly Yesu Wike, the FCT minister. If she's not been sexually harassed in the Senate, fine. But how about out there that Yesu Wike would dare her, an elected senator of the Federal Republic, Yesu Wike would say, oh, he could do anything without her input. Where does that happen? Oh, so you think Yesu Wike would dare that if Ireti Kingibe was a man? Of course he would not. And then Ireti Kingibe, in one of her interviews, was referring, oh, she's like a daughter to me. No. That is too condescending. She is a fellow senator. This thing that we overplay because of age, oh, you don't even know her age anyway. She's like my daughter and all that. Yes, it's a way of beginning to remove her wings. It's a way of making
it's essentially at the core the same behavior we're asking the men not to do.
Yes, that is why Ireti Kingibe rode into the eye of the storm.
Yeah.
Otherwise, all of them, all of us must begin to realize that our women are strong and our men are only above average. To begin to say, our men are strong, our women are above average, nonsense. Our women are strong and our men are above average. That is how to build a nation.
What do you think about the man that said maybe women should be checked mentally before they come into this kind of positions? Did you see that?
Well, I saw it. I thought it could not be serious because what I was thinking too is that how about a special facility to examine the brain of our TV men? To examine the brain of our TV self. Was Sani Abacha a woman? Did you see how much he stole? IBB, who decided to plunge a whole country into confusion. Did you see that level of depravity? So, you see, I got tired of men suggesting all kinds of things about women. We must first suggest things to be done to us. For example, somebody with active libido in that National Assembly, she would also consider setting up facilities where they can be castrated or treated and reduce all of that.
Take it away from them.
No, don't take it. Just make sure you tone it down a bit. If there's a way that can be regulated chemically or medically. I'm just joking there. But on a serious note, men should busy themselves about men issues first before putting their damn mouth in women's thing. This is what this is about. And nobody should be trying to say, oh, Natasha is this, should be that. All the mockeries of this world. You see, the context in which that incident between him and Akpoti happened, which he said it was disproved.
Right.
Quite completely different. That does not mean that so each time she's violated, she has to she just has to be mute.
Chief, let me do this at this stage, since I said I will talk about it later. You see how your hands was moving when you were in that outfit? See that steeze that's coming out of you as you're wearing that outfit? Your hands were moving. You see that smile on your face?
Right.
No, more does not have it. You should not be wearing that outfit, not especially to drag a woman. He looks lame. He looks like he was telling me what he did. I don't care what his physical location was when he toasted Natasha. The bottom line is that they had an encounter. He was fixated on what the time and the place he was when it happened. He got settled because they probably wanted to get him away from them. Settling a case does not always mean admittance of guilt. So he brought nothing to the table. And also when we're dealing with sexual harassment situations, every case is unique. We cannot afford to align them and say, oh, because you have this track record, she could not be telling the truth now. So even if she falsely accused you back then, it will not be relevant today. We cannot use that to say we're not going to listen to her to have it investigated properly today. There are certain offenses. For example, if you buy somebody, we're not going to say you have no track record of that, and we're not going to investigate. There's certain lines you cross. One of them being you violate another human being's right. It's okay to investigate that as an individual. There's no need for him to come out with that stiff, lame video where he was wearing that outfit the wrong way. The outfit is beautiful. The wrong person was wearing it. I yield, sir.
Thank you so much. Well said. Well said. And for all our folks, including Pastor Reynald Omokri, we should tread carefully.
Not the full
name. You say what?
In terms of the suspension, sir. So they're saying SAN Falana is saying that it's not going to stand because he's quoting some cases. He said
case law because of precedents, and a court has ruled that you can. I mean that no senator can be suspended for that long. I think there is a stipulated period, and really garnishing their wages that way is also unlawful. I mean, it's almost like honestly, there's no way you weigh whatever they have done that you will not see that.
So wait,
element did they know that they did that because she's a woman?
So did they not know that this was not going to stand?
Well, you know that there's no perfect crime. Honestly, they say they are lawmakers, but I see them as people who have just perpetrated an avoidable crime. Cheaply so.
Yeah, because SAN Falana gave these two examples. He said in 2017, and I quote, the Court of Appeal dismissed the appeal filed against the judgment of the Bauchi State High Court in respect of the illegal suspension of Honorable Rifkatu Dena. The court upheld our submission to the effect that the suspension of the legislator constituted a breach of the right of the Bogoro constituency to be represented by her in the State House of Assembly. So right now, the Kogi Central people are not being represented. It's a violation of their right. And then he gave another one in 2018. He said our law firm equally handled the case of Honorable Abdul Mumin Jibrin, a member of the House of Representatives who was suspended for 180 days for accusing the Yakubu Dogara-led House of padding the 2016 national budget. The Federal High Court nullified the suspension and ordered the payment of the withheld salaries and allowances of the legislature. Just looking at these two, it's enough for them to not even attend that suspension.
Not just those two. There is an established pattern there. They really went overboard. Way overboard.
So I'm asking, are they trying to make a statement beyond just trying to suspend her for 6 months? Do they already know this is not going to stand, but they have to make a statement?
No, don't worry. Akpabio is used to this big guy, running people out of town. And that he is trying to signal everybody that unless you confirm, this is what you get, particularly You see the way they have always treated Natasha Akpoti there as if, oh, when was she born? Very pathetic.
Yeah,
That
he
is
did,
a full
and he
goal adult
he
right there.
threatened her too. He threatened her. He said,
Yes.
prepare. He actually said, prepare for suspension before the whole altercation actually went to that level.
Yeah, he got it all wrapped. He got it all wrapped up, and too bad. You see, they thought it's something they would that I mean, it's a wind they expect would blow away so easily, but now it's sitting pretty, hanging over them like a dark pall. And when the rain falls, it just doesn't fall; it will pour on all of them, and that is what they are getting. That is why everybody all over the world is savaging Nigeria's Senate at the moment, that it represents the worst about that country.
Okay. Well, I'm not saying they are cowards, but that was coward moves.
Well, there are no two words about it. If somebody is a coward, the person is a coward. I think in this case, Senate President Akpabio, the worst is that we won't come to Nigeria, but he's acting coward, he's a coward. That is it. You don't.
I'm coming to Nigeria. I'm coming to Nigeria.
10,000 of them will not be able to stop us unless they want to make us richer. Yeah.
All right. Okay. All right.
It's our land of death.
Watch.
We pray for its peace.
We'll continue to watch. We'll continue to cover the stories. That's what we're here to do. We would like to hear your opinions. We're growing. We're growing very fast. So be a part of the family. Hit the like button. Share, subscribe, turn up your notifications. Follow on Facebook, on TikTok, on YouTube. Help us share. Thank you so much. Hopefully you've been enlightened, educated. We'll see you on the next one. Take care and God bless.